Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated. It's Mary Jane. And we're going to be talking about Married to Medicine, Season 10, Episode 6. Like, Contessa, you almost always have me in tears from, like, the last 3 episodes. Your situation is just so serious. And so, it's just, oh my goodness. I'm so glad, like, you're sharing this with the world. You're sharing this with women to have the courage and the empowerment to make decisions for themselves and also to take care of their health early. And also, Contessa lives in fear. She lives in fear of being sick. She lives in fear of being sick in front of her kids. And she has a reason to live in fear. And fear is not a place to live. So for her to remove that fear, it's not going to all the way go away, but she's getting, she's getting her breast reducted. She's getting her breast removed, but she's gonna leave the nipples on, so everything around it will be gone or whatever. So it's just like, no, that's a part of her fear that she's taking. She's being preemptive. She's taking the measures to take care of that situation before it probably could occur. And a lot of us do live in fear of something, and sometimes we either live in fear or we try to ignore it. And she's just facing it head on with her husband, and I just think it's wonderful. She almost makes me cry all the time. And then she was so scared and so nervous because on the episode it was the time for her to go to surgery, and her father, as sick as he done woke up early in the morning, whatever medication, whatever he's on, he made sure he got up to call Contessa and let her know that he was thinking about her and she was on his mind, and made her feel better. She needed that fatherly love. And I'm so happy that Contessa forgave her father from abandoning her and, leaving her astray for a while he was suffering and sick at the same time and dealing with his mental health issues as well. But she forgave him, and it's just like, damn, you go ahead, Contessa. I mean, like, right now, you're outstanding to me, goddammit. You are outstanding. You are a great role model for a lot of women. And I just hope Scott, gets counseling too as well, and make sure he talked to somebody about the decision that you had made. It seems like you and Scott made the decision together, but ultimately, it seems like it was Contessa's decision. But Scott did say he was proud of Contessa from taking this step or whatever, but hopefully it doesn't, hurt anything sexual in their relationship, because sometimes men can get turned off, or it can also be an excuse to use to say, I needed to cheat because I'm so used to this. You made a decision without me. You didn't think about my feelings, or I didn't know that it was going to look like this. I didn't know I was going to react like this. My physical body my penis wasn't going to get erect or whatever. So hopefully none of that does happen, but Scott talked to somebody. He gets some help, but it just seems like Scott loves Contessa unconditionally, and he's proud of the woman that he's with, and he cherishes her. So that's wonderful too as well. And you can see the love, but sometimes surgery can change people. I don't believe Dr. Scott will go that route, especially looking around what everything else that's going on with everybody else's marriage. I don't think he would want to do that to his wife, and I don't think he would want to do that to his kids too as well. I don't think he want to do that, period, because Contessa is a one-of-a-kind woman. Like, she's getting her breast removed early. It's not going to stop anything. Like, if she was going to develop cancer, it's going to happen, but it reduces the chances like 98%, like 99%. There's a still percentage that she could develop, breast cancer, because, it's kind of like hereditary in the genes and stuff like that. And she even talked to Dr. Jackie about it. But, kudos to her. Like, mad respect and much love to you. Sharing your story. For people can just get involved with health, just taking care of yourself, taking care of your body, man, because the air we breathe, sometimes the water we drink, the food that we buy, is all bad for us. We have to cherish our bodies, and she's doing the best thing for her kids too as well, and her family. So kudos to her for that. I really do like that. And then we move on to Mariah. Mariah's going out to dinner with her daughter, and Lauren wants to talk about the birds and the bees. You better have a conversation about the birds and the bees with your daughter. You better tell her what's real. You better tell her what's good. You better tell her that guys would lie to you and act like they want you and want to be with you, and then they'll take your virginity and be on their merry way. And also to be careful of guys that poke holes in the condoms, that take out off the condoms. Be careful of a guy that just want to rub his penis up against you. Let me just stop. But I'm just saying, you have to have these conversations with your child, because somebody that's more mature, more experienced, that gets involved with your son or daughter, you have to let them know the tricks out there. Women poke holes in the condoms. Women put their nails on the condoms and try to cut the condoms, and some women lie about being on birth control when they're not. So just make sure you always talk to your kids about sex, because if you don't, somebody else will talk to them, and somebody else will probably try to take advantage of them if they're naive and they don't know the tricks out here in the streets that these people do to order to get what they want. Because there's some people that don't like using protection, period. And you gotta let your children know what type of things that they will say to them. They will lie to them about their STD test, talking about they ain't never had sex, they're clean, they're this and that, and them are the ones you look out for unless they have their results on them, so for men and women. So let your daughter know what's going on with sex. But Mariah had to go in and talk about Aiden, his girlfriend that she knows about looked like Dr. Heavenly, or a pudgy little thing. I was like, come on, Mariah. And Mariah was like, who your girlfriend look like? Me? She didn't look like me. Your ex-girlfriend looked like Heavenly. And he was like, well, it looks like you. Well, she looked like you and Heavenly. Mariah didn't like that at all. And so why she had to bring up his ex-girlfriend looked like Heavenly. So I think that's one of the reasons too why Heavenly possibly don't like Mariah, because Mariah comes off as that pretty girl that gets all the attention in the room, and she demands the attention. And Heavenly growing up didn't have that. She couldn't get that. And her sister Denise got all that attention. And I think Mariah reminds Dr. Heavenly of Denise, and that's why she don't like her at all. Not gonna even get along with her, point blank, period. And so then we have Toya and Eugene going looking at their new house. Their house is dope. It's fat. They say they got it all together. They planned everything out. The money's right. They're gonna have double showers. They can take showers together. They're gonna be living it up. They're gonna be doing the damn thing right. So hopefully we don't hear no bankruptcy in the future. So they got their thing going on. I hear it. And then when Aiden said that he has 7 brothers and sisters, and 5 of them had arranged marriage. Only 2 didn't. His is not arranged. Yes, of course, because he married a black woman. He married a black woman. You see, Mama Lucy's a dark-skinned woman. He married a black woman. But Mariah got all the proper etiquettes all down together. So we have that situation. So that was good content or whatever. So then, moving on from that, basically we get to, Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Heavenly's situation is a sad situation. It's like, damn, what is really going on with Dr. Heavenly? Because it's like, well, she's locked in her room. Her father died. Her father died in the house that she lived in. And like her going there, then being locked up in the room, being confined in that room, not having any windows, not going outside to play, not being able to converse with other people and other teenagers, feeling, feeling down because, she couldn't go outside with the other kids. When Dr. Heavenly said she never been up the street or certain areas of that one street where she grew up on, I was just like, whoa, what is going on? Her mother really had to confine, because her mother said that she was her good child and the other one was her bad child. So I guess her mother did some type of experiment. I'm going to let this one do what she wants to do, Denise, see how she turns out. And Denise turns out to be an office manager, and keeping her hooks onto, Dr. Heavenly made her a doctor. So whatever her mom did work, because Dr. Heavenly has a huge ass mansion. She has one of the biggest mansions of the wives on the show. She's living it up, and she's married to a doctor and a man that loves her and cares for her, and got beautiful, wonderful kids. But I just think it was just sad the way that she grew up. No melanin, no nothing. You can see why, she's not able to talk to people, communicate with people, because half her life she was locked in a prison cell in a room where she had no windows. She didn't go out to play. I was like, damn. And then her father died in that house, and once she went to college, she ain't never came back. I don't blame her, but you can understand where she's coming from now, where she was just so sheltered, Her mother was trying everything that she could to protect her from the streets, from the world. But the other daughter, Denise, was probably going to go out there and experience the street for herself. She wasn't underneath her mother And Dr. Heavenly having, being overweight and wearing big cocoa bottle glasses, you know, it made her want to stay in the house and not play with people, not have friends. And so that's why it's hard for her to have friends and actually treat people the way that they're supposed to be treated. She always thinks somebody's coming at her. She always thinks she has to be mean to them first. She always thinks that she has to get at them first, or get the last word, or say the most harsh thing to them in the world, because she's not afraid of losing anybody. She's not afraid of not having any friends, because half of her life she just stayed in that room with her mama. So having companionship among people, among ladies and guys and gentlemen that are outside of her immediate family is not a real big deal, because she's used to being alone, and she hasn't developed the social skills of how to treat people. You know, when you grow up, you learn how to, I can't say this to my friend because Teresa's going to get mad at me if I say this to her, or Teresa got mad at me when I said she looks ugly in pink. So you know what, next time I'm not going to say that she looks ugly in pink when she wears pink. You know what I mean? Like, you develop that type, you learn, you live and you learn by experience with having friends, and she didn't have that. So that's why she's the way that she is. But it's no excuse either, because, you know, she became very successful, found a wonderful husband, and got kids where she can be better with her tongue. She should be more blessed and more happy, where that, like, she surpassed what she grew up in. She surpassed it by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. She surpassed it. So now that's where the humbleness and being great comes in, to be great towards other people. And when she met her high school friends, they was all like, yeah, Heavenly was like, I was the top of the class. I graduated at number 5. And the other lady was like, no, you didn't. I was at number 5. So we got Heavenly telling some fibs going on. And her friends was like, she was always that way. She always was mouthy. She always was sharp at the tongue. But basically they come to the conclusion that Heavenly needs to soften. And I think Heavenly's working on friendships by having Jackie and having, you know, Simone there is good for her, because she's developing friendship. She has to develop to be kind towards others. And it's hard for her to do that because she didn't learn that as a child. Like, you don't hit your friend with the toy, because if you do, you know, Jacob is not going to come over and play with you no more. If you take Jacob's stuff, he's not going to play with you anymore. And, you know, you learn that as a kid, and she didn't. So we'll see what goes on with Heavenly. She's going to be even nicer, but we know she ain't going to be nice for Mariah at all, point blank, period. And then we have, you know, Quad. She meets up with Dr. Mark. Dr. Mark was sexy last year. What happened this year? I don't know. Something changed. I think it's the beard. I don't know. Or if that's the same Mark that was attractive, you know, last season when they was doing couples therapy. And basically Quad is just like, it's not working. It's not going well. Like, he's trying to blame her for the cheating. Basically Quad and, you know, Dr. Eugene need to disappear from each other, get the divorce, and move their separate ways. And I just can't believe it. You know, Quad said her and Dr. G been together for 10 years, married for 6, and they didn't have no slip up. Like, they could have had a slip up with a baby. They've been married and dating that long, and they didn't have a slip up. Something's going on in that picture. You supposed to have a slip up. Dating for 10 and knowing each other for 6. No slip up. I mean, somebody was really making sure they wasn't gonna get pregnant at all. Peace. I'm out.